Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Sam the electrician here, talking about Alberta separation and Western independence. I was reading an article this morning. I wanted to give you guys a quick Monday update, as it were. I didn't make any videos this weekend. I get so darn busy. I mean to, but I just can't seem to find the time. So maybe try again next weekend. However, this morning, a couple interesting things happened this weekend. The first is the meeting that Jason Kenney had in Red Deer on Saturday at the Manning Conference. I'm going to make a whole video about that tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. And today, I was going through some of the mainstream media articles for a laugh, and I found an article that was all about why BC isn't as separatist as the rest of the prairie provinces, let's say, Alberta, Saskatchewan. And the interesting stuff that it had for me was the latest Ipsos polls that show the numbers. The question being, or the question they posed to the people of the provinces involved was, do you feel that your province would be better off if you left Confederation? And the numbers were encouraging, I would say. Alberta, 33%, of course, the highest, up 8% from last year at the same time. Saskatchewan with 27%, which is up 9% from last year at the same time. And that's the big encouraging one for me because, as I've mentioned on other videos, I don't really have a lot of folks that I talk to on a regular basis out in Saskatchewan, and I don't want to speak for them. It's just encouraging to see that the numbers are that high, and so good on you, Saskatchewan. I also got an email this weekend from Wegs at Saskatchewan. They were trying to get people to help with booths so more people could get signatures on petitions and start moving their movement along as well. So hopefully they got all the people they needed, and hopefully everyone out there of a similar mindset will sign the petitions and get active. Try to start making this happen. If we move forward together, it's more powerful. You know, united we stand, divided we fall type thing. And then they get to BC. And the Ipsos poll shows that 13% of people in BC have separatist sentiments. And that's higher than I would have thought. So that was encouraging, but it's still pretty low. So, you know, take it as it is, I suppose. The article briefly touches on a Conservative MP. I forget the riding that she was from. And she basically just said, yeah, she's hearing a lot of the same sentiments from that she reads about from Alberta when she's door knocking, and in the last election about the underrepresentation in Ottawa. You know, how the system is rigged against the West. And then they spent the rest of their article interviewing one Richard Canning, or Cannings, I forget, from Okanagan, Kootenay West riding MP. And he's an NDPer. And then he basically went on to prove that politicians are completely out of touch by saying that the separation movement is something orchestrated and sort of used by conservative politicians for political gain. But first he says, we all feel the same about everything and we can all get along and compromise, and then he attacks his political opponents, which is kind of ironic and a little amusing at the same time. And then the more amusing part is that he obviously has no idea that the conservative politicians in Alberta are scrambling to react to the groundswell and the feeling from the base. And what they don't understand is we don't like them either. We don't like the conservative politicians because they're federalists and they're globalists, and they're only doing this because they have to please their constituents. I see it as a mad scramble by Jason Kenney to try to implement some of the ideas of the separatist movement so he can retain control of the right-wing vote in the next election. pretty transparent, if you ask me. So the motivation for this isn't coming from the politicians, it's coming from the people. And of course, you would never expect a socialist politician from BC to understand that. They don't get out here, they don't talk to the people, so how could they know that, right? However, I thought that was an interesting little article and worth a read. I like the numbers. When people say, well, 33% isn't very much, well, I think, isn't that what Trudeau has right now as his mandate in Canada? As the popular vote or something, you know what I mean? It doesn't take much in a parliamentary democracy to gain power with 30 to less than 40% of the population can make things happen because of the system that we have. So be encouraged, get out there, be active, and tune in tomorrow for my take on Jason Kenney and the Manning conference that was held in Red Deer on Saturday. Take it easy.